Hey Deckers, ARK Survival Ascended is now working on the Steam Deck. Well, at least for the most part, and performance can be a little bit janky, but it was good enough for me to get lost for a good hour and build a nice cabin. Around 98,000 players so far on the daily count, so it's definitely picking up pace, but with the default low settings, just to be warned, the performance has a lot to be desired. So if you come in with the default low settings, you are going to really struggle to hold anything over 20 frames per second. It really doesn't look that great and is really janky when moving around. So you do still need to tweak the low settings to get the most out of this, but with a couple of tweaks, it's actually extremely playable. Obviously make sure motion blur is off, and then come and reduce down some of these settings like general shadows, global illumination and effects to bring them all down to low, especially with the foliage quality as well. Because they've upped all of the polygons and stuff on this, you want to keep anti-aliasing on medium. Then even on the low settings, this is really looking quite good. For the 800p screen on the deck, this is more than playable, and I would say that even with these settings, it still looks better than Survival Evolved, and I was able to enjoy this game quite a lot. Now I know the mechanics of this, it's obviously very dependent on what monsters are around you and how violent they can be. I got quite lucky with my section here, and I was able to set up a nice home. Going through the different camera modes, I was mostly holding over 30 frames per second. It did regularly dip into the 20s when moving around, but it wasn't enough to make me want to shut off the game. I was actually able to get a lot done, and it did hold over 30 for the most part. Now, unfortunately, there's some bugs with the game which actually make the experience much worse than it needs to be. Favorites just do not seem to work. I cannot seem to get anything to stay favorited or show up in the favorites. I still can't join any official servers, and that's not just on the Steam Deck. No matter where I try, it either times out or the count's completely wrong and they're always full. The other major bug on the Steam Deck is the character creation screen. You have around 15 seconds from when you load into this screen to find that create button and get through to the next stage, because if you miss it, then it completely locks up your game, and the only way to get out of it at that stage is to force close. With the favorites not working and you not being able to always get back to your last session, you really do need to make note of the games that you're joining so that you can get back into those servers later. Because once you've got through that creation once, if you join the server again, you'll come straight into the game. So as long as you get past that character creation screen, you are now able to play this for the most part. So if you don't mind between 25 and 40 frames per second, then this is playable on the deck. However, this is also available on GeForce Now. As you can see here, we can run 1080p with full epic settings with DLAA, that's native resolution, as well with the deep learning anti-aliasing to boot, which makes this look absolutely phenomenal. And you can see why they have made such an update to the engine. This looks so good on GeForce Now. It's unbelievable that this is the same game. So if you can't deal with that 25 to 40 frames per second running natively, and you have a decent internet connection, then GeForce Now is a fantastic way to be playing this game. And of course, you can play this not just on the Steam Deck, but on PC, mobile, and other devices as well. If you're interested in running GeForce Now on your Steam Deck, I'll leave a link to the description below of how to get this up and running on your deck. Overall though, it's still ARK Survival, so if you are frustrated by the previous game, then it's going to be no different. It just looks a lot better. Let us know in the comments below if you're going to be diving into this one and whether you're going to be playing directly on deck, or whether you're going to wait for some patches or play on GeForce Now. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.